Hi, everyone, and welcome to week 6 of our 2022 Clips of the Week for the Oregon High School football season. We're two-thirds of the way through the season. Just a reminder that all rules and clips have been interpreted through Kevin Hatfield, our Oregon SRI. And again, we're not looking to embarrass or call out any individual official, association, player, school, team, or coach. We're just simply trying to get better and work towards our goal of one rule, one mechanic, and one interpretation. So with that, let's look at this week's clips of the weeks. The first couple of clips we're going to look at are in regards to penalty enforcement and crew communication. So on this play here, we're going to have a punt, and we're going to end up with two flags on this play, one on each team. So during the return here, we're going to get a call from the head linesman for offensive holding by a member of the return team. And then we have a player here circled, and we want to watch what he does. So we get a good pick up here for a live ball unnecessary roughness by the center judge. So we have two fouls here, both live ball, and it'd be really easy to offset this and to just simply replay the down. However, the coach of the returning team has an option here. And the crew did a really good job here. They went to the coach and explained the options. And the option that they explained to him was that he could decline the live ball unnecessary roughness and take the result of the play after enforcement for their offensive holding. And that's ultimately what they decided to do. This was a good return, and of course, the coach could offset it, but they run the risk of potentially a turnover or a better kick or something else. And so the crew did a really good job coming together, going through the options, explaining it to the coach, and allowing the coach to decide to decline the unnecessary roughness and simply take the result of the play after penalty enforcement. And then one note here for the back judge: make sure to continue to officiate the play. You're responsible for dead ball and off ball officiating here, and we also don't know at this point whether or not any of the fouls we have would be enforced through post scrimmage kick. So that bag is a PSK spot for enforcement. So better to just finish officiating the play, go through everything, and then go back and pick up your bag when you're done. So, again, regarding penalty enforcement and crew communication. So, this is a legal formation. We've got two receivers on, two receivers off. So, we've got four backs and seven on the line. So, this is definitely a legal formation. And we want to watch what the head linesman does here. So, remember, wings, but when you read pass, at this point, we're asking you to hold the line of scrimmage until the ball is released and is thrown beyond the line of scrimmage. So notice the head linesman starts to go, and they throw a flag just before the quarterback passes the ball. And the offensive team throws a pass here for about a 30-yard gain. It was reported that there was an ineligible downfield. If we go back to the beginning of the play here, we don't have any receivers covered up. So this begs the question: how was this foul reported? Was this just one-on-one to the referee? Did we get on the radio? This is where the other wing can work in partnership with the head linesman to say, who did you have covered up? Because although they're responsible for the two receivers to their side, they could also come together and say, this looked like a legal formation with no eligible receivers covered. Unfortunately, this penalty stood, and it did wipe out that 30-yard game, and that was an incorrect call. So just the moral of the story here is to make sure that we have good crew communication. We don't rush through our penalty enforcements and reporting of fouls, and that we get it right. So this is a nine-person football game, so there's only 9 players on each side, but we want to talk about low blocks here for a second. So remember, to have a low block be legal, 3 things have to be in place. Both players on offense and defense have to be on the line of scrimmage. That appears to be the case here. They have to be in the free blocking zone. That does appear to be the case here, although the free blocking zone in 9-person football is slightly smaller. For argument and purposes, we'll say that both players are in the free blocking zone. And then remember that the action on the block by the blocker has to be immediate at the snap. So let's watch the action here of this left tackle. And so you might have noticed there we have a slight pause, and then I'll put this in slow motion. There's a pause, and then he goes low. So the center judge on this game correctly flagged this for an illegal block below the waist. So remember, all 3 things have to be present on the line of scrimmage in the free blocking zone and immediate at the snap. In this case, we only had 2 out of 3, and so this was correctly flagged by the center judge. So on this play, we want to look at forward progress, but before we roll the film, just one note on the referee's position here. So it appears that we're snapping from about position 3, and that's also where the referee is. So remember that at a minimum, we want to be on the edge of the free blocking zone. Now, over the course of the year, we've seen both referees and center judges starting to work a little bit wider than that, and that's fine. So we'd like to see the referee over to at least the post here, position 2, if not all the way to the hash, just to get a little bit wider here. This is 2 straight lined. But on this play, as we let it roll, let's take a look at forward progress by the running back. So they're definitely going to get pushed back for a loss, and it appears that about this point is when their forward progress is going to have stopped. But as we let this go, you can see he gets pushed back, and eventually the ball comes loose. And this was ruled a fumble. Now, the offense did recover, and they put the ball in play from the 37 on the next snap. But we should have had this forward progress stopped at the 31. So, number one, we don't want to allow a potential cheap turnover, but also we don't want to put the kids in a position where they might get hit by a late hit when their forward progress was already stopped. So we should be quick on our whistle on this one and have blown this dead and put the ball in the 31. So regarding forward progress, this is another play. But before we talk about the forward progress on this play, one thing that's definitely come up with our new mechanics this year and asking the wings to hold the line of scrimmage is that on pass plays, we often are times behind the play. And this is especially troublesome and difficult when we get inside the red zone and the back judge has given up the goal line for the end line like they have here. So we have the arrow here for the wing going to the goal line, and we're not saying that's necessarily what they should be doing, but eventually that's where they need to get to if the goal line is threatened. But we also have the line there for the line of scrimmage because we have asked the wings to hold the line of scrimmage on pass plays. But again, in the red zone, when the back judge has moved in end line, this has proved difficult. And we'll see that on this play. So the wings are holding the line of scrimmage, and we get a pass across the middle. And now the receiver is tackled into the field of play. So the question was he across the line of scrimmage, or excuse me, the goal line when he caught it? And if we back this up a little bit, we'll be able to see that when he catches this, it does appear that the ball is breaking the plane, but our wings are definitely not in position, and that's because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and holding the line of scrimmage. So we'll notice here that at the end of this play, both wings come in and they call a touchdown. That does appear to be the right call. However, we can't be certain because they're not on the goal line. So some crews and associations have begun to experiment with different things in this situation. And a couple that we've heard that we'd encourage you to talk about maybe in your pregame is sending the wide side wing at the snap down to the goal line, or some crews are also just sending the line judge down. In either instance, what the crews are doing is at the snap sending a wing official towards the pylon so that they can be in position to rule on a touchdown if the goal line is threatened. So something to consider to discuss in your crews and associations and this week in your pre-games. So similarly on this play, we're snapping from the 20. And again, the back judge here is going to be on the goal line. And again, this can kind of present a challenge here if the ball is thrown deeper. So we're going to get a situation here where, again, the wings are holding the line of scrimmage, quarterback scrambles, and now we're going to get a pass into the end zone. And the back judge is on the goal line. So back judges, you're in a difficult position here because you have goal line responsibility, but now you've been threatened by players. So just a reminder that if the players get to you, you're going to want to back up to the end line here and be able to box this in with your wing official. Now, in this case, this play is pretty easy to officiate, but if this was a diving catch or something, this official's probably straight line. So better to be back on the end line here and be able to box this in with your wing counterpart. But again, just another example of the difficulty with the wings holding the line of scrimmage, and just food for thought this week as you prepare for your games on how you can officiate these type of plays. So on this one, I am going to turn the sound on just to illustrate that we don't have any whistles on this play. So this is a punt play, and I'll just mention that the kick is not going to cross the line of scrimmage. But before we get to that, we'll notice here this is a pretty ugly formation. We've got at least five, if not six players in the backfield. We'll see as we roll this, the receiver out to the line judge's side does check with them. And we might be able to give that player the benefit of the doubt, although that's a stretch. But even if we did, we still have at least five in the backfield. So we definitely have an illegal formation here. Unfortunately, we do not get a flag for that. Um, and then remember, this is a punt play. So the short side wing, the head linesman, should release once the snap is cleanly caught. The wide side wing, the line judge in this case, they're responsible for holding the line of scrimmage. And what we'll see here at the snap is they start to drift and then they catch what they should be doing. They go back. Now, notice here, the kick never crossed the line of scrimmage. So at this point, this player for the kicking team can simply take that ball and they have a wide open field in front of them. They could run this in for a touchdown. They don't do that. They simply stay in place. But good job by this crew because we won't hear any whistles. And then basically the player gives himself up and the play is over. And it'll be 1st and 10 from about the 50 for the return team. But great job by this crew for not blowing their whistles. Just a reminder that any kick that doesn't cross the line of scrimmage can be advanced by either team. So this is another kick here, or another potential kick here. This is 4th down. And again, the short side wing, the head linesman here, would normally release once the snap is cleanly received. However, in this play, we're going to get a fake, and it's going to go to the up back in the offensive backfield. So the head linesman notices this. They do not move. They're in position to rule on this as they would on any running play, and they're going to have offensive holding here. Now, again, keep in mind this is 4th down, so they continue to officiate the play. They throw their flag, continue to officiate, and then they kill the clock. And one thing here is all 4 officials on screen are killing this. This is 4th down. So we know that after any 4th down play, we're going to be killing the clock. So just a really well officiated play by this crew and the head linesman in particular, who didn't release downfield and was in good position to rule both on the holding and the fact the runner did not meet the line to gain. So here's another punt play. So first off, the referee, you should be going to the wide side of the field. Pretty deep here at about 21 yards, it looks like. So we'd like you to be a little bit further up the field and then also to the wide side. And then our short side wing will release downfield. We can see that here, and this gives them a good angle. Now, we don't want them to go too far. We want to be able to preserve the angle, but they're going to be able to be in position to help the back judge rule on the hit by the member of the kicking team that's circled. So we can see that's a pretty big hit. We're going to watch that again here. So after reviewing this play, our state rules interpreter said that there was definitely some intent to harm here. This is a flagrant unnecessary roughness foul, and the member of the kicking team should have been disqualified from the game. Now, a couple plays just to show the back judge's responsibility for some off ball and dead ball officiating. So on this play, we're going to have a turnover, and we know on changes of possession is oftentimes when we can see blindside blocks and other things. So good job here by the back judge who's trailing the play. They really don't have runner responsibility, and they're going to keep their eyes. And we see number 22 in white there with a personal foul. So just good job by the back judge there to pick that up. And then last play here, we have 2 players who are going to go off screen and go out of bounds. The head linesman does a good job of officiating the play. They get a quick look at it, but the back judge is going to keep eyes on this. And something obviously happens off screen because the back judge throws their flag. Now, we can't see what's going on here. Maybe they've separated at this point, but we'd like to see the back judge go over there and make sure things are cleaned up and get the players back on the field before going to your referee. So that is it for this week's Clips of the Weeks. If you have any clips that you would like us to review, please email them to us at pfoavc@gmail.com. Good luck with your games this week. Thank you.